Good evening, Yankee and baseball fans. How y'all doing? You are here with Ken and Yankees The Ugly Truth. And tonight's segment is going to be called Yankee Time with an open panel. What's the next move? Give everyone a couple of minutes to get here. We do have some breaking news that Kyle Tucker has selected the Los Angeles Dodgers as his next team. Details have not been released yet, but I'm sure we'll see something here shortly. How's everyone doing on this fine Thursday evening? For the few that are here, I'd like to welcome Jonathan, Sawdust, Nancy, and whoever else may be waiting in the background. If you haven't, take the opportunity to hit the like button, share the channel out, and if you're not a member of the Yankees The Ugly Truth family, please consider subscribing to One and the Same. And it is a bit of a crazy season. Not a lot of activity. A lot of complaints that the Yankees haven't done anything this offseason. However, not absolutely true. And I've got a few videos that I put together for y'all. So if you give me just a sec, we will get this show on the road. And I appreciate everyone taking time out of your busy Thursday night to be here and support the channel. Our offseason started with the signing of Tim Hill, or the picking up of his option. As you can see, there are some definite good traits that he has. We've made 6 moves in all this offseason. And we re-signed Ahmed Rosario to a 1-year, $2.5 million deal. Definitely strengthening our bench depth, something that we have had an issue with for the last couple of seasons until the trade deadline. Good signing, and I like it. I like the energy that he brings to the team, and I think that he'll do more in the upcoming season. One of my favorite moments here is Rosario pounding a home run off of Garrett Crochet. And of course, the Yankees re-signed Ryan Yarbrough to a 1-year deal worth $2 million. Yarbrough brings versatility to the rotation and the pen. He's a hybrid pitcher. Amazingly enough, he throws one of the slowest fastballs in Major League Baseball, but they don't tend to hit him hard. They don't tend to barrel him up. So all right, let's pause this for a sec. And Jonathan has some details for us. Tucker's deal is with the Dodgers for 4 years, $240 million. Sourced by ESPN. Thank you, Jonathan. That is a hell of a lot of money for 4 years. Do they have deferral numbers on that one, Jonathan? Because up front, 4 years for 240 is like 60 million. Ridiculous. All right. And we'll continue with Trent Grisham accepting the QO, a $22 million deal. A lot of fans aren't happy about uh, this particular move. However, we needed two outfielders, and Grisham is going to end up filling one of them. He had a career year in home runs. And the next acquisition we had was Cade Winquist. He was selected in the Rule 5 draft, so he is automatically on our 26-man roster, so he will be working for us out of the bullpen. In the minor leagues, he was a starter and has a couple of elite pitches. So hence, we're going to try to work him out in the bullpen, and maybe Matt Blake can do some magic with him. And then recently we had a trade with the Miami Marlins for Ryan Weathers. A lot of people tend to think that he is going to be our starter. I don't think so. He has only pitched 38 innings last season, coming off of an injury riddled season. So drop this one down. I think that he's going to be a arm out of the bullpen, possibly long relief guy. Has a lot of swing and miss stuff, excellent fastball velocity, so you never can tell. Chat seems to be awfully quiet this evening. Obviously, the Yankees have a need for starting pitching. Where do we go from here? Don't think that Weathers is the solution. I think we're still looking for another starter. There has been increased talks between the Yankees and the Brewers, possibly for the services of Freddie Peralta, but we've also been connected with Mackenzie Gore, now recently Framber Valdez, and Zach Gallen. So I got another short video here for you on that one. Freddie Peralta, a trade would be an expensive one for us, but may be worthwhile. Same situation with Mackenzie Gore, although we'll have 2 years of control with him, so maybe Matt Blake can develop him even further. And we have the possibility of Zach Gallen, who is former ace of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Second half of the season pitched very well. And then the former ace of the Houston Astros, Framber Valdez. A lot of swing and miss stuff. Excellent breaking ball. Between Gallen and Valdez, it's a lot of innings that get eaten, preserving our bullpen, which is definitely something that we need. One of the questions that I had is, if the Yankees aren't looking to add a lot of salary, is there an opportunity for some of our higher ranked prospects to break into the major leagues this season? And my last video of the night starts with number 3 prospect, Elmer Rodriguez. He made an incredible jump from high A, double A, all the way to triple A. Something similar that Trey Savage of the Blue Jays did last year. The Yankees have had some pitchers come up over the last 2 seasons that have been really impressive. Okay. We seem to have a little bit of technical difficulties here. Give me 1 second. All right, as I was saying, Elmer Rodriguez features a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, was our minor league player of the year. And then, of course, somebody that we've been waiting for, Spencer Jones. This could be his year to make his breakthrough in the major leagues. He's our number 4 prospect, and he brings more to the field than just a bat. He is a plus defender with a lot of speed and range. And the last prospect that I wanted to talk about is Carlos LaGrange, probably the pitcher with the best pure stuff. His fastball runs up to 101 miles an hour. He has an elite strikeout rate. Hey, Sean, how's it going? And his spin rate is off the chart, meaning he gets a hell of a lot of movement on his breaking pitches. Baseball America seems to think that he will either be a future ace in our staff or our closer. He's had some control problems. I tend to think more so closer than I do starting ace. All right. That's about all the yickety yak that I have at this moment. I am going to drop the link down, as this is always an open panel. Feel free to hop up on the stage and we'll talk a little baseball. And if we don't want to talk baseball, then this will be one of the shortest live streams I've ever had. So feel free to come up if you're available. You have something that you want to chat about. Yeah, Sean, we've been talking about it. Four years, $240 million. Apparently an opt-out after year 2. So you're talking AAV of 60 mil. All right. Not a problem, Sean. I anticipated that you'd be at work. I'm just surprised you're here, so I appreciate it. And we have Jonathan hopping on the stage.
Hi.
Good evening. Thank you for coming up.
Well, that story broke just as you were starting your stream.
Yep. Well, you know what? It happens.
I know. I'm surprised. I'm surprised the Yankees haven't done much. They haven't. You know what I'm surprised the most is that. Well, maybe I shouldn't be surprised. They let all their when they let all their draft contracts on the international free agents, they let them all go. I think they had the number 2 and the number 9 guy locked up, and they just let them go to a different teams.
Well, Wandy Asajan, the number 2 ranked prospect,
Yeah,
is a shortstop. We drafted 7 of them in the MLB draft this season. This kid is what, 17 years old? What the hell do we need another shortstop for?
Well, the Yankees did make some low-level signings nobody on the top list. Let me see if I can get the name.
I know that we pulled at least 2 catchers, something that we
They got an outfielder also, and I believe they got a pitcher.
Shad, we do not know if he has deferred money on that contract.
So here's what they reported so far that I could find from this morning. The Yankees signed 3 catchers, 2 shortstops, and a pitcher.
Okay.
4 of them are from Venezuela, and the shortstop. Both shortstops are from the DR, and the rest are from Venezuela.
The rest are from where?
Venezuela.
Okay.
So, look, I'm used to the Yankees over the last couple of years signing the big guy with a bunch of small names after him, but obviously, since what happened with them happened, that's not the case this year. Hopefully next year they have a better scouting department and manager for the international players.
Let's see. Nancy says, I'm not confident that we'll have any different outcome for the Yankees this season without some additional action. Well, I anticipate that there is action coming, just not sure from what direction. I've been laying out a bunch of shorts with possible.
After today, we know Kyle Tucker is not coming. That's already off the table, and I thought that from the very beginning. But I don't even think I would be surprised if Cody Bellinger returns, because Bellinger doesn't. From what I hear and what I observed, Bellinger wants the Yankees to come up with that price, and the Yankees want to stick at that price, and there's nothing in the middle. So I agree with Jason Custodio. We might as well be a $300 million fourth place team, and that's because of over the last 5 years they haven't spent their money smartly. What do you think? Well, let's roll it back 3 or 4 years. What do you think they could have done differently over the past 4 years to be a more financially responsible team?
Well, honestly, I think we're hamstrung with some big contracts. Giancarlo Stanton being one of them, who has hurt the cause. And welcome, Jason. Long time no see, my brother. Appreciate you hopping into the stream.
Well, one thing I can mention about that, the good thing, is that the Marlins, starting this year, will pay $10 million of his contract every year until his contract ends.
So let's see. DJ LeMahieu's contract didn't help us, Eddie.
Yes, DJ LeMahieu. Yes, that was Ellsbury.
And to bring up a question from Jason, do you think Tucker's signing makes Bellinger's asking price reasonable? No, I don't.
No.
Tucker's essentially being paid $60 million a season. So I'm not feeling that his asking price is reasonable.
I think Bellinger is worth half of what Tucker is getting.
I mean, when the offseason broke, I would have been comfortable with a 5-year, $150 million deal, 30 mil AAV.
That's what I thought.
7 years at 37 million AAV, you can freaking forget it.
I think the Yankees put out a reasonable offer. I believe they had a 5-year, $160 million contract.
Hey, Steve, welcome to the stream.
I don't know if that's officially, but I believe that's what I heard. 5 years, 160 or 165. It was about $31 million a year for 5 years.
Well, Jason, here's my question back at you, brother. Do you think that the contract is comparable or reasonable for what Bellinger's asking for? And for me personally, I don't. I think that if Bellinger already had a 7-year, 6 or 7 year deal worth anything close to what he's asking for, he would have signed already.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm not sure if anybody, well, maybe after today that will change, but I don't think Bellinger has received a contract over 4 years from any team in baseball.
Hey, Lewis.
And now Boris will look at Tucker's deal, right, that was sent today, and see if let me go back and look at those exact numbers. 4 years, 240 million. No one will even give Bellinger a 4-year, 180 million, for example. They will ask for it, but I don't think what is 4 years, 180 million. It's more than 40. It's more than four. It's a lot of money. More than 40 million a year plus
It's 45 million.
45 million a year. I don't think anybody is getting 40. Bellinger is getting 45 million a year. If he gets a 4-year contract, I wouldn't go higher than 150.
And Steve says, I hope the Yankees stick with their plan of not giving out too many years like they have in the past to lower the AAV, which never works out. And I completely agree with that.
I agree. Look, if LeMahieu's contract was even a 5-year contract instead of a 6-year contract, and I know he wanted a 6-year contract, even at the 90, stick with the 90 million. Let's just say, for argument's sake, stick with the 90 million, but give him in 5 years with a higher AAV. His contract would be up after this year.
Yep.
So, and the one thing the Yankees have never done is defer their contract. Do you think the Yankees should consider that at some point?
Deferring money on a contract.
Yeah.
I don't know. I suppose we'll figure it out after this collective bargaining agreement.
Yeah.
Because I have the distinct feeling that Tucker has got a bunch of money deferred on this deal.
Yeah. Oh, there's an opt-out after 27 and 28. So he had 2 opt-outs. Kyle Tucker essentially has an opt-out every year of his contract. I agree, Louis. Nobody would, but if Kyle Tucker had a great year, opts out, and tries to go get a $300 million contract, what would you rather get paid? 240 million or 300 million? I'm sure he would contract for that extra 60 million a year, $60 million, even if it's not 60 million a year. Wouldn't you agree? If Kyle Tucker has a great year and opts out, and someone offers him a 6-year, $300 million deal, do you think he would regret opting out of his contract?
Well, I've got a funny opinion about contracts to begin with. I don't agree with opt outs. Once you sign a deal, you sign a deal.
I know,
It's
but
like it's like shaking a man's hand and saying, "This is what's what."
do you know who was the first player to get an opt out in his contract?
No idea.
I think it was, and I didn't look this up, but I believe it was Alex Rodriguez's first contract with the Texas with Texas. He got a
What?
10-year deal with an opt out in year 7. That's when he opted out in 2000. That's why he opted out in 2007. That's the first time I ever heard of an opt out, and I believe that was the first contract ever.
And I don't like it.
No. I'll look it up right now.
And I'm dropping the link once again. So anybody who wants to come up, just click the link and we'll bring you on stage. Hey RC, how you doing?
Yeah, and I might look. The concept of out-of clause was introduced and in 2000 when Alex Rodriguez signed his deal with the Texas Rangers. So I might. That's the first time I ever heard of it, and I turned out to be correct. I guess I have a good baseball memory.
Yes, you do. That's why some refer you to as the uh, baseball information guru.
Yeah. Well, I remember being called Master of Information once.
All right, RC. Ken, are the Jays or Mets going to do something stupid now for Belly?
Maybe.
It's a distinct possibility. I mean, I don't know what the validity is when they put out a couple of days ago that the Mets had a 3-year, $50 million AAV contract for Tucker. If they did that for Tucker, God knows what the hell they'll do for Bellinger. Although the thing that I ask myself is,
Was that
Tucker
report was
Tucker
that
does
put out there to increase the Dodgers offer?
Tucker does absolutely nothing to help, or Bellinger does absolutely nothing to help the Dodgers starting rotation, which is a huge problem for them. Hey, Derpy.
What's the point anymore, gentlemen? The point is we're just talking baseball. That's the point. Uh, but yes, there are. Remember, there are many teams with rich owners that we just refuse to spend. Every owner in baseball is a billionaire, has billions of dollars, and they can spend however much money they want.
Well, they used to say that about the Yankees too a long time ago.
Well, that was before the Yankees had a stadium with debt. And I believe that debt is going to be paid off in the next 5 years or so. Jason mentioned that a long time ago.
Yep. For all of you that have hopped in the stream, if you haven't, please hit the like button, share the channel out. And if you're not a member of the Yankees The Ugly Truth family, please consider subscribing. Just channel programming information for y'all. I will be calling play-by-plays for the spring training when available. I may do games outside the Yankees' purview too, if we're not available on that day. And I plan on calling some play-by-plays for the World Baseball Classic for Team USA. So
Another
hop
thing,
in.
another thing that I've been hearing about in the last 48 hours is Peralta, Freddie Peralta.
Yep.
Who do you think get trades for him? Because there's been a lot of connections with the both of the Yankees and the Mets as a possible trade piece.
Well,
Those are the
well,
two big teams I've heard. Those are the two big teams I've heard connected to Peralta.
well, I've heard another one in our division, the Orioles.
The Orioles, yeah, I think Orioles was the first one I remember, but this was
Yeah.
at the beginning of the week, not the last 2 days.
And if the Orioles are involved, their farm system is loaded for bear. They can trade
Yeah,
outmatch anybody out there as far as farm systems are concerned.
well, the big question is: are the Orioles gonna flex their prospect muscles? They don't have as much financial muscles as the other team, but they do have prospect muscles, which is
And
probably more interesting to a seller.
and for RC, got to believe there's a wide division amongst MLB owners. Must hate this Tucker deal without a freaking doubt.
Well, everybody, all the owners, like if the owners had their way, I'm sure they wouldn't like to pay this money to any player. But I come to the I it is my opinion that I'm on the side of the players when it comes to getting paid, because the players are only there for a limited time. The owner owns the team for as long as he wants. So I'm all in favor of the players making as much money as they can for however long their career is.
Steve, I don't disagree with you. I think there's going to be a work stoppage. The last time it the last time it really happened was the strike of '94,
Yeah.
and it was all about the cap back then too.
Yeah, baseball is never gonna. The players' union is never gonna agree to a cap. You heard what Bryce Harper said,
Yeah, screw Bryce Harper. He's a freaking big mouth anyhow.
but
But long and short, every major sport has a cap in it. I don't see why baseball is the holy cow.
well,
If you're not going to
baseball.
want to, if you're not going to want to run a cap, then I think you should run a contract limit.
Well, I'm in favor of a contract limit. I would say no player is allowed to get a contract longer than 7 years.
Me
I'm
personally,
in favor of that. Maybe even
me,
5 years.
me personally, the other thing that I'd love to see changed is something like the NFL does with their free agents. You have a draft, you have a free agent signing period.
Yeah.
So you don't have these games like Bellinger's been playing with Boris, which has essentially held the Yankees hostage for the entire offseason. At least when Soto walked from us after the 24 season, he had the common damn courtesy to be expedient about it so we could actually make moves without everybody being off the board.
Well, I would also be in favor as if free agents do not sign before, let's say, February 1st, then they cannot sign a contract more than 1 year.
Okay, I can live with that.
I think that's something that they should do. Be like you said. I also don't like when the players play these games to penny pinch every last dollar they can when they have an offer on the deal on the table.
You know the funny thing, Jonathan, after baseball went on strike in 94, they lost about 20% of the fan base.
Yeah,
And the only thing that saved baseball at that point was the chase for Maris's single season home run record,
yeah,
which in retrospect was
and the Yankees season in '98.
was well, it was the effects of PEDs.
Yeah,
Now which we are uh, burning players off the planet for even some players off the face of the Hall of Fame. Uh, I guess if you're well liked by the Baseball Writers Association, they bring you in anyhow, like they did with Ortiz, confirmed PED user.
well, I think that it was just part of the game, similar to that's I believe they lifted that ban. They lifted when they lifted Pete Rose's ban. They should lift all the accusation that PED should not affect your Hall of Fame chance. I think Alex Rodriguez should be a Hall of Famer, and that's not just because he was a Yankee. I
Well,
think
Roger Clemens.
I think Pete Rose is a Hall of Famer.
Hey, Wendy.
Roger
Uh,
Clemens also.
Roger Clemens was accused of steroids. He never popped on a list. He went to court 3 different times, won all 3 cases, never had any charges, federal charges for perjury or anything else drawn upon him. Yet he's not in the Hall of Fame.
Well, and that's stupid. I think Clemens should be there. A salary floor would work better than a salary cap, in my opinion. And trading draft picks. I think if baseball really wants to make the MLB draft uh, more exciting, what they should do, they should move it towards the same time as the winter meetings and allow trades during the draft. So it can be instead of like this year they had Brian Cashman basically stayed for 48 hours for the winter meeting and did nothing. If they want to make the winter meeting more exciting, they should make it a whole week and televised 3 days worth of draft with trades involved in the draft.
But see, where I don't think that it works is NBA or the NFL. When these players are drafted, they're going to be on the squad the next season. In baseball, that's not even close to being true.
But
They will be in the majors most likely 3 to 5 years from the day they're drafted. So it's
yeah.
not a high impact move for a major league baseball team.
However, the baseball has gotten a lot better over the last 10 years at drafting high quality players that make the major leagues in the first and second rounds.
I'm not saying they're not going to make the major leagues. I'm saying they're not going to be impactful to the team for years. I mean, look at our guy, our number one prospect is George Lombard Jr.
He's probably not going to come up until after next year.
Hell, if he can't figure out how to hit double A pitching, he's not going to come up the year after that or the year after that. And I mean, one of those big international signings that we had, Roderick Arias, he hasn't made it out of A ball yet.
Well, I think that's one reason why the scouting director got fired. And this year, as we talked about, this off season, we're not doing much.
No, we are not.
Yankees have spent probably $20 million on players from the international signing period over the last 5 years, and they really haven't gotten. They may have gotten one or two. LeGrand is one of them, and LeGrand was signed for I think $10,000. I was mentioning it to Jason earlier today. I sent him a message. I said, all the not all the best players have to get millions of dollars in bonuses. You know what Mariano Rivera's signing bonus was? Are you familiar with what he got?
No, no
He
idea.
got $3,000 to sign in 1990, and he became what everybody knows what he is. So not all the big names that sign for millions of dollars become all-star Hall of Famers.
Without a doubt.
So you just have to be patient. Hopefully the people who you sign will work out to the best, and maybe one time you get lucky, you get an all-star potential Hall of Famer for in 20 years. It's just a roll of the dice, and you have to start with having good scouting. That's one
Well,
reason why I don't like the Yankees getting rid of the scouting director months before a signing period. If they wanted to get rid of the scouting director, they should have done it during the season when they had time to replace him.
well, I think that Sean Mania is probably holding that post down right now.
Maybe.
Thank you, Wendy. Most appreciated. Uh, I mean, long and short, if you look at international signings, which international signings have we hit on in the last 20 years?
Robinson Cano, uh, Chin Ming Wang, Luis Severino for a couple of years, uh, Tanaka.
Well, Tanaka wasn't an international signing. He was
Yeah,
part of
Tanaka wasn't an international signing, but we probably had maybe 5 or 6 players at most over the last 20 years.
and I
Since
mean, Jason Dominguez was supposed to be the next coming of Jesus, and he definitely hasn't lived up to that billing.
well, I think Jason Dominguez needs to play every day to really show what he can do. I cannot fault a guy who plays part time, and this is what I think. The Yankees need to treat Jason Dominguez next year just like they treat Anthony Volpe. I don't know why the Yankees treat Anthony Volpe like their golden boy when
Give
he
me a sec.
when he's playing hurt. He's playing in. He's struggling. When he was struggling, hitting under 200 for a month, he never got one day worth of rest. I'll find,
He got injured on May the 3rd in Tampa.
yeah.
He was out of the lineup for approximately 8 hours. He came into the game the next day.
He should have been on the IL the next day.
Uh,
I'm sure. I'm guessing if he went on the IL for at least 10 days, he probably would have had a better season last year, and everybody in the fan base probably would not have been complaining as much. You need to also have to have competent medical staff, because Who were the people that told Anthony Rizzo that he could still play after a hand injury? Who is the people that told Volpe last year he didn't need to go to the IL? Who are these people making these decisions?
Hey, John, welcome to the stream. All right, answer me this question. If we got to get Bellinger, what are you willing to pay him? You willing to give him a 7-year deal worth 36, 37 million that he's asking for?
I told you my price. I'm paying him 5 years at 30 million.
I'm talking to John the Beagle Dad. He's the one
Yeah.
that posted the comment down there. I know how you feel. And me personally, if I was running things with the Yankees, and of course I'm not, I would have put a deadline on Bellinger.
Yeah.
We're either going to have a deal. We're going to have a deal in place by 1 January, or we're pulling any offer we have and we're walking away.
Yeah, I already Bellinger had I already gave Bellinger a deadline and he passed it. My deadline was last Sunday.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Being held hostage by Bellinger. We haven't made any other moves. And I mean, the one thing that aggravated me happened yesterday when the Red Sox signed Ranger Suarez. I agree, John. If he wanted to be here and wasn't about the money, he would have already signed because he was offered a more than fair contract. Yeah, yeah, AD. That we got that one just as the stream was coming online. Tucker signed for a 4-year deal worth $240 million with an opt out after year 2 and 3. And Steve, is there a big bat that's available in trade out there? We rent thinking.
I'm not sure.
Steve, are you talking about a power hitting bat?
And this is another thing I would change. I would put the trading deadline back, push it back by 2 weeks. And I would do that because when they expanded the playoffs by 2 teams, I think that makes decisions in the middle of August different than the end of July. So I think it should go back 2 weeks, the trading deadline.
I think Cashman's backup plan is Jones starting in left field and bringing in a platoon player like Austin Hayes.
Unless Jones is traded, I think he will make his major league debut this year.
Well, he's 24 already. If we're not going to promote him to the major leagues and at least give him a reasonable shot, then we need to let him go.
Well, the Yankees had a chance to trade him for Paul Skeens last year. I think there was a deal at least talked about, and they didn't. I also think the Yankees have to stop being prospect huggers.
Wendy, the Wyndham readings have been over with since December.
Yeah, the winter meeting though, the first week in December.
And let's see. Sean Browning says Cody Bellinger is letting Boris screw him out of deals again. Not arguing with you on that one.
That's definitely true. Let me see if anything else has dropped in the last 20 minutes. Kyle Tucker is 1 year of Kyle Tucker is 89% of the Miami Marlins payroll.
AD, I do not think that there are any other teams in on him. I've heard the Mets mentioned. Don't know how realistic that is. Heard the Blue Jays also. So I'm not sure why they need another outfielder because they have 8 of them on their roster.
Did you read about the trade that just happened less than an hour ago?
I did not. What was the trade?
The Rays got Gavin Lux and Chris Clark from the Angels. It was from the Angels, Rays, and Reds. Rays got Gavin Lux and Chris Clark. Angels got Josh Lowe, and the Reds got Brock Burke.
Who the hell is Brock Burke?
A left-handed pitcher from the Angels.
Okay.
Small trade, but it involves the Rays, so I always pay attention to the AL East.
I focus on baseball across the board. That's just somebody I'm not really familiar with.
Yeah. Now there have been posts that says Aaron Judge is vastly underpaid. Well, that's the price of the market, really. I think that, and here's the big problem in regard to people who think players are overpaid. When Shohei Ohtani signed that contract, he massively jumped what we thought was a
Have a good night, John. Appreciate you stopping in. If you haven't, please hit the like button.
Shohei Ohtani's contract made players getting paid more by a lot, uh, much more. I don't know what is the right word to say it, but more likely in the coming future.
Without a doubt.
He got 10 years at $70 million a year. I don't care if he can pitch and hit. When someone gets $70 million a year, it shows you why Tucker wanted a contract worth $60 million a year, because someone else got 70 million and gave him permission to say, hey, even though the largest contract before me was just over $40 million, this one guy got $70 million. So now I can ask for a contract close to $70 million a year.
Thank you, John. Appreciate that. Well, looking at contracts and whatnot, that's fine and dandy. And what other teams have acquired as far as via the trade market or through free agency. What do you feel the Yankees should do next? Should we add a starter? And if so, is it via the trade market or through free agency?
Well, I always thought they should have gone after MI. I wanted MI from the very beginning. I thought he was good for the team. And And here's the other thing. Here's the one thing that I would like. I would like to see where the Yankees injured players are right now, because we haven't heard much about them. They have Cole coming back, they have Hampton coming back, and they have Schmidt coming back. So you have to think, if Hampton is ready for spring training, you have a possible starter right there from the very start of spring training, and you have Cole possibly coming out. So if we have those three players, we know Schmidt is not going to be ready for the start of the season. But if we have Hampton and Cole ready for the start of the season, do you need another starter? That is the one. That is the one. That is the piece of information that nobody says publicly because they're coming back from injury.
Definitely a true statement. Although I tend to think that you're probably not going to see Garrett Cole till the latter part of May
Yeah,
at the
I
earliest.
don't. I've always said that I would be surprised if Cole comes back before Memorial Day. I think Memorial Day is a realistic point for Cole.
Steve, I tend to agree with you. Definitely have to be careful about Cole.
Yes.
Alcantara, since his Tommy John, he hasn't looked even remotely like the pitcher he was at one point. And Strider, I didn't really track him close last year. I know that one pitcher that was really phenomenal before he had Tommy John surgery was with the Dodgers by a kid by the name of Walker Bueller. And post Tommy John, he has been horrible.
Yeah, he left the Dodgers. He got traded actually.
Yep, went to the Red Sox, got DFA'd by them. So uh, I dropped a short several months ago about Austin Hayes as being a platoon with Spencer Jones. Uh, you're not really losing anything one way or another. Jones is a very good outfielder. Hayes is an outstanding outfielder. Uh, at the major league level, I'm not sure what Jones brings with regard to the bat. Uh, definitely need to see his strikeout rate come down. Uh, Austin Hayes hits hits left-handed pitching at an incredible rate. So I think that could be a good marriage there.
Now, a lot of people online have really brought up Aaron Judge because of Kyle Tucker. I don't think players. I think that's more for the fans. Players really do not care how much what other people think about how much money they're making. I think that's more of the fans hyping it up. As long as the players get the money. Do you think Aaron Judge is at home right now complaining that he's being paid $20 million less than Kyle Tucker?
No.
Exactly.
All right, folks. We have hit an hour on this broadcast. So I'm going to go ahead and end the
Yeah.
stream. It's after 11, and I know that a lot of folks have to get up early in the morning to go to work. I want to thank everybody for taking time to hop into the stream. Your support is most appreciated. keep looking out for the shorts. I'm trying to drop one every day. Uh, Definitely when possible. So appreciate y'all's support there. And play by plays are right around the corner. So we will get back into the grind here in spring training. For those of you who are here, if you have not hit the like and share button, please do
And
so. And
I,
if you're not a member of the Yankees The Ugly Truth family, please consider subscribing.
before I go, I'm going to look up when is the first spring training game.
I think it's the 21st
At the
of
20th,
28th.
20.
Okay.
So Friday, February 20th at 1 p.m. against the Orioles.
All right.
So we have just over a month left for spring training.
All right. You got any final words there, Jonathan?
I'm still looking out for more information. Today, I spent the majority of the day looking at international signing prospects. As I said earlier, I was very curious why the Yankees didn't make any big name signings, but then again, I think I answered my question when I remembered they didn't have a scouting director.
Well, I think another thing that can be looked at too is we're in the lowest tier of money for the international free agency money.
As you remember though, we also traded for over $1 million worth of more money during the trade at the trade deadline 6 months ago. So
Yep.
we have more than what you might see on what the reporting at least. So and also I think the other thing, and this will be my last statement. The other thing I think that they should get away with in the next CBA is losing international money when signing a free agent. When a team loses things in free agency, it hurts the players and the team. So there should be no more penalties for the team just for signing a player to $100 million plus contract.
I mean, me personally, I think the QO should go away. I think QO is complete crap.
Yes, the
Uh,
Q, any type of free agency compensation.
I believe that if you lose, they should tier your players out, tier 1 through 4. If you lose a player within whatever perspective tier, you get a compensatory pick.
Yeah,
Past that, nothing.
yeah.
Hey, Joe. And let's see. It's over. Remove the deferred payment loophole and calculate all the Dodgers contracts at present value now. Dodgers payroll would be over 600 million. And honestly, they are owned by a $440 billion hedge fund. They paid out roughly $169 million in cap fees and whatnot. That payout was higher than the payroll of 16 major league teams, and it wasn't even a dent in their pocketbook. Did not Obviously didn't freaking mitigate them giving Tucker a $60 million damn year contract a year, which is completely ridiculous. However, things need to change with the CBA, and definitely the deferred payment loophole has to be closed. Complete garbage.
Yeah. The Yankees are in the Bronx. New York
Well, they're
City.
in New York City, so yeah.
Try it there in the borough. Yeah, New York City boroughs. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's it for me. I
All
need
right.
to go to bed.
Like I
Thank you
said,
for having me on. And I'm sure there will be plenty more to talk about as we roll into spring training and pitchers and catchers in a month.
most definitely. I appreciate you taking time to hop up on the open panel.
Thank
Uh,
you.
and I am going to end this one now in my traditional fashion with "Let's go Yankees," and we'll see you in the funny papers. Have a great night, guys and gals.